Right. Well, good morning and good afternoon and good evening to those of you who are joining us from South Africa and across Asia. I'm extremely excited to be hosting this virtual Spirits Mission event for you today. My name is Ben Jordan, and I'm the Senior Export Manager for Wesgro. Wesgro is the official tourism, trade, and investment promotion agency for the Western Cape in South Africa. And today's virtual trade mission is just one of the many that the export team at Wesgro has been holding since March in the wake of this very unfortunate pandemic. We have conducted virtual missions on wine, fresh produce, tech, fish products, and much more. And today we're going to be focusing on the spirits industry. Wesgro has partnered with key South African foreign offices, Department of Trade and Industry and Competition, who are based in China, Malaysia, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, South Korea, Japan, Singapore, and India. So we have a wide array of people that are going to be joining us today. And I see that our numbers of participants is around 50 people so far. Thank you so much. Their role was bringing in importers from these respective markets. So a sincere thank you to all the DTI officials who helped to make this event possible. And also happy Diwali to our Indian friends joining us today. The Asia Pacific region overall is the largest spirits market globally as a result of its large population and despite low per capita consumption. And growth in the region is largely influenced by China and India, its two biggest markets. And while the region is currently dominated by local spirits, there definitely is potential for growth in other spirits categories owing to its rising disposable incomes within these markets, changing lifestyles and growing consumer awareness. And this is why we think that Western Cape distilleries we're presenting today will be hugely successful in this market because they focus on quality, innovation, and really top-notch branding that will surely catch the eyes of consumers in the Asian market. Okay, so the aim of this event overall is to be brief. We understand how much virtual fatigue that people are having at the moment, and we want to stick to about an hour by giving a nicely packaged introduction to the industry in the Western Cape of South Africa, and allow interested importers to make a decision on if they would like to have conversations moving with the distilleries who present today. You should have all received a program of the distilleries on the call today and the products they offer. If you have not received this program and would like to, please do drop me a line in the chat function, and I will make sure to send that to you during the course of this event. Going forward, the format of the event will be as follows. I'll be shortly giving a brief poll to the attendees on understanding what spirits in the market that they're interested in. And then for each of the companies, 8 companies, they'll give a 5-minute presentation one by one on their company, the products that they offer. At the end of the presentation, I will run a single question poll asking if anyone would like to have a one-on-one meeting with that distillery. You can select yes or no. And then after the event, I will link up the interested importers or distributors with the distilleries to have further discussions. It's easy as that. Also, most importantly, bottles of spirits will be given away as prizes during this event. How we'll be doing that is I'll be asking some quizzy-like questions during the course of the event, and you can answer over the chat function. And based on your answer, I will record your name. And then based on your registration, I will link you up and figure out what address we need to send these prizes to afterwards. We'll also be randomly selecting people and participants from the registration list after the event to be able to receive a prize. So without much further ado, I'm going to launch a poll now just to get a sense of what your needs are as importers within the market. Wait one moment. Here we go. And I'm going to launch the poll now. And so you should be on your screen seeing 3 questions. The first question, what spirits are you interested in purchasing in this current market? Whiskey, gin, rum, vodka, brandy, tequila, or other. The second question, what tier of spirits are you interested in purchasing? Budget value, mid-tier, top shelf. The third, what quantity are you looking to purchase? Are you looking bulk shipment, mid-size, small boutique shipments, etc. That will give us a better indication to understand how we can best serve your needs as an importer. I see that quite a few people are already answering the questions. And I will give about 1 minute for people to respond. That's a good point. Solomon just pointed out that it doesn't look like there's a multiple selection for some reason on the poll. So if you want to send me a message, I'm going to include my email in the chat right now. If you'd like to send me an email regarding the particular types of spirits you're interested in, I'll make sure to include this in the poll results. So I guess from the top, if you would just select which top spirits you're most interested in, and then you can do the singular selection for the remaining 2 questions. Getting quite a lot of responses. All right. I am going to, perfect. I'm going to now end the polling for this time. So thank you so much for your contribution. And I'm going, so you should be seeing the poll results. You can see that there is quite a high preference for gin and whiskey in this regard, and even other mid-tier kind of selection on what the purchasing of importers here. And then there's a mid to small boutique shipment size that is being demanded by the importers that are participating. So that's extremely interesting. Thank you so much for participating. I'm going to stop sharing those results, and I'm going to jump into our first company today. So here, wait 1 moment as I bring on New Harbor Distillery. Here we go. Great, and New Harbor Distillery is on, and I'll turn it over to Nick to present his company. Go for it, Nick.
Thank you, Ben. On behalf of New Harbor Distillery, I would like to welcome everyone today. My name is Nick Janneke, and I am the master distiller and co-founder at New Harbor Distillery. I studied chemical engineering, and have been distilling spirits for over 10 years. I'm the youngest distiller in South Africa to solely own and operate a distillery at age 26. Since its inception, I've distilled and created over 20 handcrafted and award-winning spirits for international and local brand owners. Some more information about New Harbour Distillery. We create spirits inspired by Africa. New Harbour Distillery is a micro distillery located in Cape Town, South Africa, creating artisanal spirits infused with nature's finest ingredients. Our core concepts are using organic and natural ingredients, creating handcrafted products at our state-of-the-art experimental distillery, following sustainable production methods with zero waste throughout the distilling process and being plastic-free. We currently produce the following spirits in our catalog. Rooibos gin, our most popular gin, is a new Western dry style with a light juniper taste balanced with lingering orange and cassia bark notes, followed by a rooibos honey aftertaste. The main botanical is rooibos, which is a fynbos species that is widely cultivated in the Cederberg mountain range of Western Cape Province in South Africa. It is used to create a popular herbal infused tea dubbed red bush tea. Our next gin is Marula gin, which is a classic London dry style with an African twist. The sweet softness of marula fruit provides a balance to the silky smooth, zesty lime and lemon juniper forward gin. The main botanical is the fruit of the marula tree. Once a year at the peak of summer, the female marula trees bear their unique fruit, and elephants travel vast distances to get a taste when the air is filled with the scent of ripe marula. Our next product, Spekboom gin, is a one-of-a-kind export-style gin infused with spekboom leaves. It is smooth, piney, juniper-forward, balanced with lemon, citrus, zest, and lavender. The main botanical is the leaf of the spekboom, or in English called porkbush tree. This carbon tree is 4 times more effective than a pine tree at removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Then we have our copper vodka, which is balanced with fruity and citrus notes, finished with a mellow note of spice. This grape-based vodka is produced from Pinotage grapes and undergoes a unique process of copper catalyzation, whereby large amounts of copper wool is used to naturally catalyze unwanted aromatic and sulfur compounds to create a clean, rich, and rounded vodka. Our Cape Alchemist brandy has a smooth taste of smoky French and sherry wood notes, combined with vanilla, apricot, and orange fruity flavors. We only select the finest Chenin Blanc and Colombard grapes in our unfiltered pot still brandy. It is aged in old cherry casks for 3 years and then carefully rested in charred French oak barrels for a 3-month period. If you can imagine it, we can create it. We also have a custom spirits offering that consists of the following: contract distilling. Contract distilling consists of an entire distilled manufacturing process, including business consultation, recipe and product development, brand design, and production. We produce custom spirits on a commercial level with a minimum of 1,300 bottles per batch. Want to buy spirits in bulk? We make it happen. We have the expertise to produce and supply various high-quality liquids and spirits. Our current ready-made bulk alcoholic spirits include brandy, cane-neutral spirit, grape-neutral spirit, gin, rum, and vodka. We also offer distillery design. With a combined 10-year experience, our team has the know-how of the spirits market and production process to assist and mentor you in setting up your brand new distillery. Our consultation services include design of distillery, recipe development, and distillery training. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to present New Harbour Distillery. If you have any questions, please reach out to either myself or Ben after the presentation. Thanks, Ben.
Great. Thank you so much, Nick. I'm going to move you back to an attendee now. So thank you very much. 1 second. There we go. All right, great. So thank you so much to New Harbour. I'm going to ask a little quiz question up for grabs to be able to receive some beautiful spirits from New Harbour Distillery. The question is, and you can answer in the chat, and I guess it'll be first first come, first serve. At what age did Nick say qualified him? At what is his age that qualified him as the youngest distiller in South Africa? 26. Boom. Nuno, you will be winning a prize, and I will follow up with you afterwards. Nuno was quick on the draw. All right. I'm going to be moving on now to our second distillery here, which will be Distill. Wait one moment. There we go. Perfect. And we have Andy with 3 Ships and Baines Mountain Whiskey. Andy, you're more than welcome to take it away. You are currently on mute, though. Perfect.
Okay, thanks, Ben. And yeah, good day to everyone out there. Welcome to the James Sedgwick Distillery, which is situated in Wellington, about 45 minutes from Cape Town in the Western Cape. The distillery was purchased by James Sedgwick and Company back in 1886, and we are currently the only commercial whiskey distillery on the entire continent of Africa. In that 134-year history, there have only been 8 managers. We pride ourselves on our green initiatives, 6 of them being thermal recompression using hot water from the stillage to create more steam under vacuum, the spent grains which are sold off as livestock to animals, CO2 collection from fermentations for use in carbonated products, the anaerobic digester which reduces the COD by over 95% and produces methane gas as a byproduct, the methane boiler which utilizes that gas, and then a reverse osmosis water treatment plant which takes the water ex the digester and cleans it up even further to be able to bring it back into the process as boiler or cleaning water. The distillery has received lots of awards over the years, but this year at the Whiskey Awards held in London on an annual basis, it was awarded the title of the Sustainable Distillery of the Year Global Icon of Whiskey. Personally, myself, in my 36 years of experience in the distilling industry, I've been fortunate to also be awarded, and the 2 main ones being the Master Distiller, Master Blender of the Year in 2018, and then this year also at the Whiskey Magazine's World of Whiskey Awards, the Global Icon Award as World Whiskey Brand Ambassador of the Year. Baines Cape Mountain Whiskey, which is our first whiskey we're chatting about, is South Africa's first single grain whiskey. Released in 2009, it's double matured exclusively in first fill ex-bourbon casks, which gives it its unique aroma, flavor, and smoothness. It's made of 100% South African yellow maize, or corn as you may know it. It's column distilled with a spirit at 94.3 off the column, double matured in first fill ex-bourbon casks, the first period for 3 years, and then a new set of first fill ex-bourbon casks where we revat for a further period, on average 24 months. Because of our warm climate, we are losing between 4 to 5% per year during maturation, and that is known as the angel share. The tasting notes are that its color is a warm golden amber, the nose a combination of floral, banana, honey, hazelnuts, and toffee. The taste is balanced vanilla, cocoa butter, light spice from the sweet undertones of the oak casks, and then the finish is long and warm, very smooth. Baines itself has gathered over 25 worldwide gold medals since its launch 11 years ago, everywhere from New York to China and London to San Francisco. The 3 major awards being in 2013 and 2018, when it was awarded the world's best grain whiskey title at the World Whiskey Awards, and then this year in 2020 in the same grain whiskey categories, it was a category winner. It's currently exported to the USA, the UK, and Europe, and the volumes of whiskey are not an issue, and stock is readily available. 3 Ships Whiskey is our second whiskey, and until now this has predominantly been sold just in South Africa, but pressure from the UK and Europe means that we are launching a single malt imminently into those markets. But today's focus is on the 3 Ships Select and the 3 Ships 5-year-old blended whiskies. Stocks are plentiful, readily available, and volume should be of no issue for your markets. The Three Ships Whisky Select was developed and launched in 1977, South Africa's first commercial whisky. It is globally awarded. Tasting notes are that it's a pale gold color, clean and inviting on the nose, which opens up to light smoke and floral aromas. The palate is fruity and fragrant, a dash of spice and elegant oak, and the finish incredibly well balanced with subtle spice and fruit. The Three Ships 5-year-old Premium Select was developed and launched in 1992, again globally awarded. Tasting notes with this is gold with a sherry red tinge. The nose is robust and aromatic. The palate is ripe pears with spiciness in the background. It's got a full peaty character that fills the mouth, and the finish is exceptionally clean and fresh, but with that full peaty character lingering with fruit and warm spice. In 2012, the Three Ships 5-year-old Premium Select was awarded the title of the world's best blended whiskey at the World Whisky Awards, again held annually in London by the Whisky magazine. Thank you very much, Ben, and everybody for listening and giving me the chance to share some information with you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Andy. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to move you back as an attendee now. I just realized that I forgot to run the question. So sorry for the New Harbor Distillery. I'm going to do that now for the second poll. And that would be if you would like to have a meeting, a one-on-one meeting with New Harbor Distillery, which we can set up via Zoom or any other platform you like. If you can answer that poll, I'll give up with a question for Three Ships and for Baines Mountain Whiskey as well. Just give a little bit more time. Perfect. All right, I'm going to end polling there. And now I'm going to move to the second poll, where would you like to have a one-on-one meeting with Distell and their brand Baines and Three Ships Whiskey? I'll give a little bit more time. Okay, I'm going to end that there. Great, and the most exciting part, I guess now, is the quiz for a bottle of Baines Cape Mountain Whiskey. How many years of experience does Andy have in distilling? 36, Deidre Alexander, you are correct. God, quick. So I'm going to write this down really, really quickly just to make sure I have the names. And thank you so much. All right, now we are going to move on to our next presenter, who will be Dall'Accia, presented by George. I'm going to promote him as a panelist now.
Hi, Ben, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you and see you. It's all you, George. You can take it away.
Okay, fantastic. Just want to do that. Okay, so my name is George Dall'Accia. I'm a master distiller since 1996. Now, Dall'Accia was established by my grandfather in the early 20s, who started out as a wine merchant in the northeast part of Italy, which borders Austria and Trieste. And he saw an opportunity to start producing grappa, which is, as you know, a byproduct of winemaking. And so this was the initial starting point of the distillery. He also started producing brandy, and towards the end of the early 70s, it was one of the biggest grappa distilleries in Italy. and importing fermented skins from all over Europe by ship and by train. And then, of course, my father studied enology in Conegliano and joined the family business and introduced a lot of technical changes and in the quality control section too. And then he had an opportunity to come to South Africa in 1974, and he was first based in Pretoria with the stock company of Trieste, and this was for production of brandies and liqueurs and also wine. He then came to the Western Cape, to Stellenbosch. He joined the Berghelder as a winemaker, and in 1978, Meerlust Winery needed a winemaker for the pressing season, so he joined Meerlust in 78, and he was there for 25 years. He pioneered also the first Bordeaux-style blend in South Africa. And of course, his dream was also to produce grappa, and this only became legal after 1994. So we imported a beautiful discontinuous alembic still, and I joined my father at the age of 19. My background is actually graphic design and marketing. And so at the end of 2003, I was able to convince my father to retire early so that we could establish Dalla Chia Wine and Spirit Company. And then, of course, what is grappa? Now, the term grappa comes from the word graspa, which literally means the leftover fermented skins after the winemaking production. So these skins are very precious to us. They have about 5% alcohol, and all that primary aroma that you find in the bouquet, in the structure of the wine, comes from that skin during that fermentation. So we have a very small gap, a small window for production. We start around mid-February and we'll complete the distilling season on our grappa in around May. And it's a very much boutique production. We need 1/2 ton of these fermented skins, which goes through a double distillation process. And we only produce around 30 liters of grappa at full strength. So we have a very simple rule. Any skins that are older than 48 hours, we will throw away. We have a state-of-the-art distillery that allows us to do a bain-marie distillation, so we will never burn the skin. It's a very delicate process. We do only small batch distillations, double distillation. The first part is in a pot still. The second is through a fractional distillation. And then we will do the dilution to 43% alcohol, cold stabilize, and filter the grappa. So it's really minimal interference. Our production, as I mentioned, is very artisanal, very boutique. We hand label, we hand bottle, we wax every bottle by hand, etc., etc. So there's a lot of attention to detail. Some of our grappas, like this 10-year-old, I will sign every single bottle. It's numbered and very, very specific. Of course, then we launched and developed our range of our export range, which is Aqua Vitae, which means water of life. And of course, we capture the essence of the cultivar. So we distill the fermented skins of Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Merlot, and then we make up our blends. And grappa is really the ultimate digestive to be enjoyed at the end of the meal. And our 10-year barrel-aged grappa was matured in new French oak for 10 years, and very similar to single malt whiskey, cognac, Armagnac style. Very, very delicate, very gentle. And then, of course, our brandy under H&G, fine and rare, is a 9-year barrel-aged brandy that was aged in also new French oak, and quite unique to South Africa because I distilled it from the wine of Semillon and Shiraz. Both these products have won silver medal at the International Wine and Spirit Competition. Our main export markets, mostly Europe. We have Denmark, Germany, Holland, Italy, Sweden, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and Namibia. Of course, the family business has grown. We established also Pane Vino Food and Wine Bar next door to our distillery. This is where we showcase all of our products in a very home style environment, et cetera, and if there are any questions later, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you, Ben.
Great, thank you so much, George. Really, really appreciate that, that presentation, beautiful product that you have here. I'm going to move you back to an attendee. And in the meantime, I'm going to launch the third poll here, asking if you would like to have a one-on-one meeting with Dalla Chia to talk about their fine grappas. I'll give about 20 more seconds for individuals to answer. All right. I'm going to end polling there. Oh. A little bit more. Seems like a lot of answers coming through still. All right. I'm going to end that there. And I'm going to move on to our next presenter. But before I do, I guess what I would like to also say is while we are doing these polls, it's a quick way to gain interest. If you do at all whatsoever would like to make contact with these distilleries that are presenting today, you can reach out to me. My email address is benjamin@wesgro.co.za. I'll put that in the chat function right now, just so people know. You're more than willing to reach out to me for any of your import needs into your respective countries. With that being said, we're going to move now on to Marie. Marie, wait 1 second. All right, great. And I will turn it over to Jess and Neil now.
Thank you, Ben and Wesgro, and thank you all for the opportunity to present here. I'm Jess, and Neil and I are the co-founders of Amari Ocean Gin. Amari means from the sea in Latin. As the name suggests, Amari is a true ocean gin because we don't only rely on the botanicals to give the gin its nature, but like any great whiskey, the water plays an important role. Amari is the only gin in the world. Gin relies on 3 elements during the distilling process to give the gin its character and flavor profile: neutral spirits, botanicals, and water. We've selected botanicals that are unique to the coastlines of the oceans, and in addition, we use the water from the ocean to create our beautiful gin. The ocean water enhances the distillation of botanicals, as the salts and minerals in the water extract the oils more efficiently from botanicals, giving a very smooth and flavor-packed gin. Salt does not distill, so the gin is not salty. As we're in Cape Town, where the Atlantic and Indian Oceans meet, we've created 2 gins inspired by each of these oceans and their coastlines. Our first gin, launched in 2017, is the Amari Atlantic Ocean Gin. Amari Atlantic Ocean Gin was inspired by the coastline of the Western Cape. This is a dramatic coastline with mountains plunging into the sea and rolling sand dunes covered in fynbos, which is a unique plant kingdom only found in the Western Cape of South Africa. Some fynbos can be very fragrant, and we specifically selected coastal fynbos with citrus and floral notes. Together with the traditional gin ingredients of juniper and coriander, we enhance the citrus notes of the fynbos by adding fresh lemon, orange, and tangerine. This gives the gin a bright character evocative of the icy Atlantic Ocean, making it a great choice for a smooth and refreshing drink. Our second gin followed in 2018 and is the Amari Indian Ocean Gin. Amari Indian Ocean was inspired by the coastline of East Africa, which is a warmer coastline full of long white beaches, palm trees, and exotic spices. This gin features many interesting spices found along this ancient trade route, such as Madagascan pink pepper, ajwain seed, cardamom, and turmeric. To this, we add fresh Swahili lime and lemon, Swahili lime leaves, and juniper and coriander, along with the ocean water. Post-distillation, the gin is infused with chai masala, which gives Amari Indian Ocean gin its unique golden colour. This creates a gin with a soft spice evocative of this warm coastline. The gin has a smooth mouthfeel with delightfully fresh leafy notes and a pinch of pink peppercorns, neatly rounded out by coriander and juniper. Gin Brand Year 2020 Award, as well as multiple local and international awards, proving the excellent quality of the product. Amari is distilled at the leading craft distillery in South Africa. Established in 2014, Hope Distillery was the first licensed craft distillery to open in Cape Town. Our vision is to get a bottle of Amari into every sea-facing bar in the world, and we would like to invite you to join us on this exciting journey. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Jess and Neil. That was very, very insightful. I'm going to move you back to an attendee now. There we go. Slowly but surely. All right, so I'm going to run our fourth poll today, asking if you would like to have a one-on-one meeting with Amari Ocean Gin. And then after the poll, I will ask a question, a quiz question for a bottle of Amari Gin. All right, still a couple of answers coming through. I'm going to end polling there. And for a bottle of Amari Gin, the question is, what does Amari mean in Latin? Yep. Deidre, unfortunately, I'm going to have to give this one to Jaco because you got the other one from Distill and want to be a little bit fair. So Jaco, I'm going to go with you in this regard. So congratulations on that. All right, great. I'm going to move on to our next presenter now, which is Deep South Distillery. Wait 1 second as I pull him up and promote him to a panelist. All right, and Steve, I'm going to allow you to take it away and present. Sorry, Steve. Sorry, Steve. You're on mute. You're on mute.
There we go. All right, my name is Steve Erlank, and thank you very much for the opportunity to present at this particular seminar, and welcome to all the delegates and attendees from around the world. Deep South Distillery takes its name from the fact that we're the southernmost distillery in the African continent, in Cape Town. We're located at the southern tip of Africa, right in the middle of a floral kingdom, which is unique in the world and which you've heard about before. We use quite a lot of these ingredients in our various products, and it gives a particular characteristic to the flavors that we impart in our products. We're a small but well-equipped craft distillery. We specialize in making small batch spirits, and we stick very much to traditional methods. We have a small team, but currently we're only operating at about 30% of our production capacity, and we're looking to grow. We've been operating since 2018 as a full-scale operation, and in fact, we're winning medals a little bit before that from 2017 onwards. Our dedication is to make craft spirits that particularly I like. So we won't sell anything that is random, and we have been lucky enough to win many, many medals over the last few years for the various products. We specialize particularly in gin and are most known in South Africa for our gin products, but we are currently exporting some of those products to Australia and are opening up routes into the US and Europe, although COVID has put a bit of a blinder on that this year. And we are developing other products, including rum and vodka, which are currently selling but not yet available for export. And we have a number of specialties that we do as we hone our art as craft distillers. So mostly what's on the table now is we're talking about the products that are available for sales and exports. But I'd just like to pass on record that we have a number of other services that we do. We do sell bulk spirits, mostly to the festival trade for the making of bottled and pre-bottled premixes and kegged and festival spirits. We do white labeling for a number of people where we take our existing spirits or custom-made spirits for them and we white label our products as their own. So this is typically lodges and companies that are looking for that opportunity for an excellent spirit. And we have a number of collaborations and joint ventures with local and overseas companies to develop and distribute unique spirits. But primarily what's on the table today is we're talking about the sales and exports of our existing products. Our flagship product is the Deep South Cape Dry Gin. It is an exquisite product. It won a double gold medal before we even had a license to trade off the recipe making that we were doing. And it's won many medals since. In fact, a gold just recently at the SA Craft Spirits. And it was the Gin of the Year at London Spirits Competition in 2019. Out of 250 spirits from around the world, the second top scoring spirit across the whole program. Its style is classic London dry, and we made the spirit specifically for all your classic gin cocktails. It makes an exquisite gin martini, but it's also spectacular in stranger drinks or less usual drinks like a gin mojito, your gin rickeys, etc. So all the classic cocktails, and it does have a bit of a playful side as well. It's juniper forward with slight citrus and herbal notes that come from the botanicals that we use from the local mountainside that we harvest sustainably. Our second gin is the Ruby Gin. We don't enter it into many competitions because there are not that many categories that judge a contemporary style. It takes its gorgeous red color from natural hibiscus that we infuse for a few hours before we bottle it, and it has a floral profile. So this gin is a slightly bitter gin, which is favored by people who like neat gin and would drink Camparis and those kinds of bitter spirits. But we really made it as a pairing for all of the new styles of drinking with many different flavor tonics and fruit-filled cocktails. So it's for the modern style gin. It makes a lovely pink cocktail when you dilute it with a mixer, and it pairs beautifully with citrus and fresh fruit. So we call this our naughty gin or our play gin for those people who like to experiment with it. Our newest arrival, which we've been making since December, the first 5 batches sold out locally by word of mouth only. It hasn't yet been launched onto the market. So the first 5 batches sold out. It is a very interesting and subtle blend of spices. It's not a spiced gin, but it takes its name from Zanzibar, the Spice Island, where I was sailing about 2 years ago. And it has a London dry style, but with hints of spices that allow you to play with it. So it's a very versatile gin. Its profile is slightly sweet spices coming through on the back of the juniper with a bit of sweet citrus. And it takes its characteristic very much from the kinds of mixes and garnishes that you do. A lot of our local people have been switching from the Cape Dry, which is a spectacular spirit, to the Spice Island because it is such a versatile drink. It makes a very spicy, dry, peppery drink. It's wonderful neat as an aperitif or after dinner sipping thing, and it's a very popular drink. It has been submitted to 2 competitions and has won double gold this year in both of those competitions, which is a score of 93%. That's the Michelangelo International Wine and Spirits and the South African Craft Spirits. So it's 2 out of 2 for that particular spirit. We also make a chili vodka, which is an unusual flavor to have in a vodka, I guess. It makes a spectacular Bloody Mary, and it's also wonderful paired with tropical fruits like mango. Interestingly enough for us, we have a cult following for this. A lot of lodges use this. It makes spectacular hot chocolate and chili vodka. So people are finding really interesting uses for this particular vodka in bars and restaurants. A number of restaurants actually serve this. We have a local seafood restaurant that serves this as a hot drink in a shot next to their seafood, their sushi and their sashimi. and we have a number of Italian restaurants that do this. So this has a bit of a cult following, and it's a lovely, lovely chili flavor. It took us quite a while to develop the right blend of chilies. And we are launching later on this year premium vodka and white rum, which are also gaining favor and are currently being enjoyed by people, but it's not yet on the market. So I would point out at this stage that also all these cocktails, all these drinks can be bottled and available in Navy strength, certainly the gins in Navy strength at 58%, and we have a following for that, but we don't actually put that on the market. It's an order for those particular gins. Target customers that we have are typically 25 to 60 years old, aspirational, mobile, very lifestyle orientated. But we don't look at people who are looking for collector's items. What we target specifically, and we're gaining a lot of traction in South Africa and in Australia, we're looking at the person who actually wants a superior craft gin in their drinks cabinet at home, and they'll buy a bottle of gin or 2 bottles of gin and other spirits every month. So pretty much we play in the aspirational market and the young to middle-aged gin drinking market. Our features very much with quality spirits. We target medals. We use those as competitions as a benchmark to keep us honest. We use authentic natural ingredients. We use traditional methods, very much small batch craft distilled, and we adhere to those things. There's no fake or artificial flavors in our spirits at all across the board. We are in a unique location in the Western Cape, and a lot of our backstories about the gin come from the heritage aspects of the Western Cape, which means that tourists come and they enjoy it and they take it home, which is why we're getting quite a lot of demand from Europe and America to ship to those countries. So we have a special heritage and backstory that's built into each spirit, and we try and target our spirits at everyday drinkers who are looking for exceptional spirits at good value. So that's very much our particular profile. So thanks very much for the opportunity to do this presentation. There are my details, and I'm happy to take questions at any time. Thank you very much, Ben. Back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate that presentation. I'm going to move you back to an attendee now, and I'm also going to launch the 5th poll here on, hopefully everyone can see it, is if you'd like to have a one-on-one meeting with Deep South Distillery. Perfect. I'll allow for about 20 more seconds. I think I'm going to actually end it there. Perfect. We need to get moving along. So I'm going to go directly into our next presenter, who's going to be Glenn Bryant from Six Dogs. I'm promoting him as a panelist now. All right, Glenn, you are on, and you can take it away.
Thanks, Ben. Very warm welcome to everybody out there, and thank you so much for giving up your time. I'm Glenn. I'm going to be presenting our 3 premium handcrafted gins to you today. Just trying to get the presentation up right now. We are Six Dogs Distillery. Big screen. I hope you could see that. It's called Six Dogs Distillery because we do have 6 dogs, but also because when we started this journey, we actually made our first batch of gin in the shed where our 6 dogs sleep on the farm. Today, we have 2 distilleries. This is the first one. This is the spiritual home of 6 dogs. And as you can see on the pic, in that frieze, we commemorate the original 6 dogs that gave our brand its name. Having a broader look at the distillery, you will see in the foreground there that most of the botanicals that we use are either grown on our farm or they are foraged in the surrounding areas. It is a working distillery, but we always invite people to come join us there, to meet the dogs, to enjoy the view, and of course to taste the gin. What you might notice is that it's actually quite a small facility. We found that we very soon ran out of space, and rather than enlarge this, we invested in the second distillery. There's a picture of it there. That's in George, and that produces much of the volume. It has a very large still, and it was also designed to ensure that we can significantly increase capacity as and when that becomes necessary. Now, despite those humble origins in a shed where the dogs sleep, our aim was always to produce gins that would compete with the very best in the world. This is our first one. This is a Karoo gin. It's called that to reflect the area where our distillery is situated, which is a semi-arid area in the middle of the country. And because some of the outstanding botanicals come from that particular region. These include something called wild lavender and also the little flower from the Karoo thorn tree. This gin was 2 years in the making, and it went through hundreds of iterations before we were satisfied with it. It is very much a connoisseur's gin, refreshing with its note of citrus, and I personally think it stands out there amongst the best that there is. However, our second gin, this is our Six Dogs Blue gin, is what really put us on our map. Just as the Karoo gin was the first to introduce Karoo botanicals in a gin, this gin was the first in Africa to be a blue gin. And what you will find interesting is that that blue is 100% natural, and it comes from the blue pea flower, which we actually source in Indonesia. We add to it rose pelargonium, which gives this gin a floral and very light note. While everybody enjoys this gin, it is particularly favored by new first-time gin drinkers and the younger crowd. We call this our party gin, and part of the reason is because it actually will react to whatever you mix it with, and it will change colors, as I'm hoping to show you very shortly. Our third gin, which we released last year, is called a Pinotage Stain. Now, Pinotage is a great cultivar that is peculiar to South Africa. What we do, we get the grapes from a neighboring farm. These are all hand-plucked. They're then added to the vats of gin, from which the gin picks up that natural color and the characteristic of the grape. Here you see the full range of our gins. We pride ourselves on innovation. We pride ourselves on the quality of the gin itself and very much on the packaging, as you can see. We've been very lucky in South Africa. We launched in 2016. These are figures, this is market share figures from 2019. And if you quick look down there, you will see that in terms of market share, Six Dogs sits at number 14 on the list, which may not sound too impressive unless you notice that we compete against all of the commercial and international gins, and that in 2019, there were 167 brands with over 384 variants. Today, it is much bigger than that, and we're very grateful for the support that we have received. Elsewhere in the world, I'm very pleased to advise we now export to 20 countries around the world. We do particularly well in Europe, where so much so, in fact, that we're actually setting up an office to better serve our customers there next year. We are currently underrepresented in Asia, but I'm really hoping that after today's session, we'll be able to address that. Now I'm going to try and get out of the presentation because I quickly want to show you in closing what happens to the blue gin. I hope you can all see it. I put it in this glass here with me when I add tonic. Now tonic by nature is acidic, and as you see, when I add it to the gin, it'll change color from that natural blue to a pink color. So on that note, I'll say cheers, thank you very much, and hand you back to Ben.
Thank you so much, Glenn. That was a very fascinating presentation. I'm going to now quickly move you back to an attendee, and thank you so much. There we go. All right, everybody, I am going to oh wait, I think it's taking a while to change role to attendee. All right, great. I'm going to launch the sixth poll here on asking if people would like to have a one-on-one meeting with Six Dog Distillery to have a further inquiry into their product. And then I'm going to ask the quiz question. I know that we are running a little over time. We do have 2 more distilleries that we want to get through. We will cut the Q&A and we can do that via email afterwards. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for that to come through. All right. I'm going to end polling there. And the question for a bottle of 6 Dogs gin, I believe it is the Pintage Stain gin. Where did 6 Dogs source the flower that makes their blue gin blue? Ravi got it. But I'm going to give this one to Wei Long Chung because Ravi have already going to give him a bottle. So I'm going to make sure to write that down really quick. All right. And now we'll move on to our next presenter, who is Autograph Jen. I'm going to promote to the panelist. Should be coming up shortly. There we go. All right, and you can take it away, good sir.
Morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can see the presentation. My name is Anthony Norton, and I'm the owner of the Autograph Distillery.
Hi, Anthony. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, we can't see the presentation. Can you try to share it again?
Sorry, my apologies.
No worries.
Let me try again. Ben, is that coming up now?
Unfortunately, it is not, but here, I think what we can do as a backup measure, for 1 second. I thought that I had. Unfortunately, I can't see it. So how about we do this? Unfortunately, would you be able just to talk through your presentation and then we can send it afterwards?
Sure, with pleasure.
All right, great.
So apologies, everyone, that the presentation isn't coming up. But let me talk it through, and Ben can send it through afterwards. As you have seen from the various presentations this morning, there are literally hundreds of gin brands to choose from. And I think, the obvious question is, why choose our brands as opposed to any of the other very good gin brands that you have seen this morning? Now, the short answer to that proposition is that we produce what we call the Rolls-Royce and the Bugattis of the gin world. And the reason for that is we have been very, very careful in the branding and the liquid that we produce in our distillery. From a branding point of view, we specifically went out to try and find the finest stoppers, labels, and bottles that we could identify so that our product was totally unique and bespoke. Our stoppers are made by hand in Cape Town. We import Portuguese oak and Portuguese cork and American white oak, and we produce all of our stoppers by hand. Our labels are copper foiled, and our texture of our labels have been distinctly chosen to create a unique feel for our products. When you step into a Rolls-Royce, you expect a certain distinct feeling. We didn't want to just produce bottles that had plastic corks and cheap imitation labels. So we wanted to produce a specific product that had a unique value proposition that consumers could identify with. The second unique proposition about our products is that we didn't want to produce botanicals that were artificial or that had any artificial colorants or additives. So all of our botanicals are hand grown at our distillery, apart from the juniper, which is not grown locally in South Africa, which we import. But all of our other botanicals are hand grown at our distillery, and we specifically do not use any artificial colorants or other preservatives, which have unfortunately become a feature of a lot of commercial gins, and which we think from a health conscious point of view from consumers is not a good proposition. So we only use natural botanicals in our products. From an award perspective, our gins have won numerous awards, including our Autograph Gin, Best Gin in Africa in 2019, and Best Craft Gin in South Africa in 2018. Our Distillery Road Gin won a gold medal in the South African Craft Gin Awards in 2020, and our Signet Gin won a double gold medal in 2019. Now, we have just deliberately designed our portfolio to be able to offer something to all types of consumers. Our Autograph Gin, as I've described, is what we call the Rolls-Royce of gins, and that obviously comes at a particular value proposition for consumers. But we also have a second category of gin, which we call Distillery Road, which is our second gin, and this was specifically designed to offer a unique value proposition to customers. And this is one of the most competitively priced craft gins in South Africa. We are currently exporting this gin to Australia, and it is doing extremely well in the Australian market. And we think the reason for that is because of its unique value proposition, but the extremely good quality of the liquid. Like our Autograph Gin, this is made with our own botanicals. We grow all the botanicals by hand, and we think it's an extremely good value proposition. We have also started to export this to Europe, and it is also starting to get very good traction in Europe because of its value proposition. Our third gin is what we call our Signet Gin. Now, our Signet Gin is a very, very unique gin. One of the reasons why this gin is so unique is that unlike most other gins, which are distilled and then bottled virtually immediately, this gin we put in a resting tank for a period of 3 months in order to get the unique color which this gin has. And because of our mission statement to not use any flavorants or artificial colorants, it gets its unique color from the hibiscus botanicals that we use, but it will only derive that color if it's in a resting tank for 3 months. And that's one of the unique features of this particular gin. It also comes in 2 offerings. One is with a unique copper foil label with an oak stopper, and the other is an engraved bottle with a brass copper stopper, which we have developed with one of the local designers in Stellenbosch. So our portfolio effectively consists of 3 commercial products: our Autograph Gin, which is our what we call our Rolls-Royce gin, our Distillery Road Gin, which is our unique value proposition, and that is our very, very competitively priced gin, and then our ultra premium Signet Gin, which is really we make to order only for select customers who want this product. When we first released Signet, we did not release it at all to the retail trade. It was sold out in the first week of the gin coming to market to certain specific customers on order. Our distillery caters primarily for export markets. That's where we have effectively designed our value proposition. We currently are exporting to various markets in Europe, including Germany, France, Denmark, Spain, and as well as Australia. And we've also just started to export to the United States. And also we have started to put limited quantities of our product into Hong Kong. And we have got an extremely good reception for both our Autograph Gin and our Distillery Road Gin in Hong Kong, and also some limited quantities into Taiwan. Thank you very much, Ben. Much appreciated. Sorry about the problems with the slide.
No worries at all. And we do need to get going. So I'm going to put you back as an attendee really quickly. And then I'm going to run the poll very quickly on asking if individuals would like to have a one-on-one meeting with Autograph Jen. Great. Give 10 more seconds. And perfect. Great. And then we are going to have a giveaway. So the question that I'm going to do for Autograph Jen is what, it should be very easy. So it's going to be quick on the typing here. What is the name of their competitively priced Jen? Nope, not Signet. Give a hint, it starts with a D. There we go, Deidre. I'm going to give this one to Tanmay because Deidre is cleaning it up here. All right, great. All right, and now I'm going to quickly move on to our last, but not least, our last distillery who will be presenting today, Stillman Distillery. Their products are extremely beautiful, so I'm excited to be sharing them with you. I'm promoting Tina from Stillman as a panelist. All right, Tina, you are on.
Hello? Okay.
There we go. Thank you. All right, so over to you.
Share. Okay, we are Stillman Distillery. So we are a husband and wife team, and we started our distillery in 2018. We both left our corporate jobs in Johannesburg and have moved down to Paarl. So we're in the middle of the winelands in the Cape. We are fueled by passion and commitment. We love to do everything a little bit experimental and have not done anything run of the mill. Just not really our passion. So our distillery, we have a capacity of, we've got 2 stills. We've got a 100-litre still and a 1,000-litre still. We can do on a single shift 1,000 bottles of spirits a day. If we had to put in a second shift, we would be able to double that. Our first product that we ever launched was our Graphite Gin. So our Graphite Gin is a Perigord truffle infused gin. And all the products are locally sourced. So they brought Perigord truffles from France and they've grown them locally in the area, and that's what we use. We then have it's a very culinary flavor and it's more of a contemporary gin. So definitely not juniper forward. Rosemary, pepper, salt, and has often been described as the smell of walking in a forest. So that's our Graphite Gin. Our second gin is a Dusk Shiraz gin. So what we did is we made a gin to match Shiraz, which has got pepper notes and berry notes. We then got grape skins from a local wine farm, seeing as we are in the winelands, and we then steeped that in our gin, and that's where the color comes from and imparts a bit of the grape flavor into our gin. Our passion is our rum. This is our Goldsmith rum, and this is what got us into distilling. So we've been distilling at home for many years before we decided to turn it into a business. Our Goldsmith rum is very much small batch. Our bottles are hand blown in Swaziland, and we launch about 50 to 60 bottles at a time. We make it out of molasses, so it's industrial rum. It then goes into ex-bourbon barrels that are imported from the States with new French oak tops. Very caramel flavors and a little bit of aniseed, which comes through from the molasses. So our limoncello liqueur is our latest project. We have a lime farm across the road from the distillery. Somebody came in one day and said, what can you do with this? So we decided, instead of limoncello, which everybody loves, we decided to make a limoncello. The nice thing about our limoncello is because limes are less sour than lemons, we are able to add less sugar. This is a 30% alcohol, and it makes a great mixer. So it's become a summer favorite. You can put it with your gin as a lime flavor or drink it neat on its own. or mix it with berries for summer. Our additional offering is we do a lot of contract distilling. So we've made an award-winning, we partnered with a brewery in our area to make Le Saison gin that we got a gold award for. We also then make a white and gold rum. The white rum is also barrel aged and then carbon filtered to get that white color. We've made Alden gin, and we also make a vodka and a grapefruit gin. That is more of a craft range, but not premium like our other products. And that we've done in partnership with a local DJ in the winelands. That's our offerings. We love to experiment, and we're always trying to come up with new ideas. And often if you come to our distillery, there's always something new that we're trying out. And I think that's why we have a lot of repeat customers. Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute there. Thank you so much, Tina, for that. I'm going to now move you back to an attendee. And I'm also going to launch the poll for the last distillery here on who would like to meet with Stillman Distillery. Going to wait that poll to finish up. Okay, I'm going to stop the polling there. All right. Well, all right, so 8 distilleries within an hour and 15 minutes. We did go a little bit over time, but I'm looking at the number of participants, and the number of participants have actually increased over time. So definitely didn't lose any airtime by presenting last in this regard. If you do have any more questions, if you'd like the program of the event that lists out bios, product listings, and FOB pricing for these distilleries, please do email me at benjamin@wesgro.co.za. I'm putting this in the chat function for all attendees and all panelists. So please do email me if you have any further questions in this regard. In total, Jaco just asked how many participants. I have been monitoring it. It's currently at 60 participants, and we will be sharing the recording with everybody to disperse their markets. Congratulations to all of the people that have won prizes. We still have a lot of bottles left to give, so we will be randomly selecting individual participants who were involved in this webinar and ask for their address to be able to ship it to wherever they are in the world. Thank you so much for the time. This was a great endeavor, and hopefully you'll be adopting more Western Cape spirits within the market that you represent. Have a good day further, and speak to you soon. Bye.